Hi, she's Trixie, and I'm Sarah, and this is Our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all that it gives us and what we hope it gives you. We're on episode 150 today, which is super exciting, and I don't know why we should have done something special for today.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it.
Yeah. Well, today is going to be probably a shorter video despite it being our 150th episode. We have... it's going to be kind of just to the point, and that's partially my fault because I just did not bring... I brought stuff to share, but it's not going to be a long spiel, so to speak. Yeah. You'll understand in a little bit, but if you're new here, hi. If you've been here before, welcome back. Normally we start off our videos by showing what we are either working on or sharing what we have accomplished during this time, this week, and maybe even sharing what we plan to do coming up. So we are ready and honestly excited because honestly, if there's anything I can do is tell you what I'm about to start planning on, which I don't even know if she knows what I'm going to be doing. So
I don't. This is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was working toward getting another blanket done. I think I told you what it was. Yeah, and I don't think I showed you any of it because I had just started it.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's basically a scrap blanket. Maybe I showed you. I showed you the canvas bag full of the
yes, but
yarn balls, but I didn't show you the project.
Have you even started it yet?
I think I had, but it was just so small that there was no reason to show. I decided to stick with the greens instead of making it it's kind of a fall theme, sort of. But I mostly stuck with the greens instead of putting all the bright colors in there because once I got going on it, it was working out so pretty, especially with the mandala. I wish I had more of that. But being scrappy, you're using what you have. And I was using two balls, two yarns at a time, 10mm hook, half double crochet, and I think I only did 50 across because I was just basically making a lap blanket, just something to do for the event that I was going to last weekend. I ended up making half of this because it was only 50 across. Some of the guys there were like, "Are you going to be done with my sweater before the end of, tonight?" And I'm like, I'm working on a lap blanket. If you'd like it afterwards, sure, you can have it. And they really thought it was pretty. So they were teasing me about it, just that I brought my crochet, but they had stuff to do and I didn't. So anyway, I started off with this really nice green and brown together, and then I went into like a teal, but it went into the mandala, and it just turned out so really pretty. And then I went into the khaki or the camel and added another color with it, and then down here is darker greens with reds and blues.
Jewel tones.
Yeah, jewel tones. And it ended up being probably around here when I was done.
Maybe 4 foot.
Yeah, so it's a really nice, it fits over your lap really nice. It makes you warm. If you're just sitting in a chair or whatever.
Nothing bulky.
Yeah.
The idea of a lap blanket when my mom makes them is that they're supposed to just fit around your legs, down to your feet, up just enough, and it's just not bulky, but it's there.
And if you were in your chair and you wanted it, it could cover your arms, but it's not going to go much further than that because it's only... I always like it to go over your feet. And maybe up to your neckline. But I didn't have enough for that. And usually I do 100 across. Because if you want to sleep on the couch, you want something to go over your back, over your front, get all snuggled up in. It's over your feet. It's gonna be really nice. And I usually go over my head when I'm doing that to measure where I'm at. If it's near my forehead or a little bit over, I know I'm done, because that will ensure it's going over your feet. And it will make sure that it's, nice and snuggly up here by your shoulders and everything. So that's what I'm working. I'm working on a new blanket right now. It's a solid with a sparkle color, and or a color with a sparkle in it, and it is turning out so pretty. But I have 100 across on that one, and I hope I have enough yarn to do it, and if not, I know some stores that do. So, but I'm not going to show that. I'll show that next week, because I want to get a little bit further in it to show you what I'm doing. So, what were you going to explain to us?
Do you want me to show off my finished product first?
Oh, I want to see Reuben, yes.
So, for any of you who are new, last week I was sharing some of my finished projects for a order that I was asked to fulfill. And if you know, we were doing Lilo and Stitch themed characters.
Yes.
That were from a little bit more, if you were more committed to the series, so not just the first movie, but more into the second, third. I think they have 4, maybe? Do they have 4 movies? I don't know. My daughter watches them quite a bit, but there's also a series, and this character is very prominent in the sequel movies and in the series. And if you know, Stitch is Experiment 626. This character is 625. So the experiment creation that was right before Stitch was created.
Right.
They're considered cousins, and he is a sandwich making fiend. He loves making sandwiches, and his name is Reuben. And
Because Lilo named him.
Yeah, he was always only ever referred to as 625 until Lilo decided to name him Reuben, because she's been making a habit of getting to know all of the experiments, what makes them special, giving them a name, and working with their gifts to have them become a part of the islands of Hawaii. Because what happens is the aliens are dehydrated in these little pods in this container, this dry ice looking container that's supposed to probably be a little mini portable freezer. Right. And what happens is that ends up being opened, and the balls that are the aliens in that dehydrated state go shooting everywhere on this island that is obviously completely surrounded by water and is natural to rain.
Yeah.
And so slowly they start waking up, spouting out because they get exposed to water, and they wake up, and that's how Lilo ends up doing this job. So, 625 comes in quite early into this whole shebang, and I made him. But there's no point in ever making a Reuben without making a sandwich. So he was fully made holding on to a Reuben sandwich, and the sandwich I made pink meat with a white cheese and he's just holding and gripping onto that sandwich. And I am very grateful to believe that this person that is receiving him is going to be very appreciative of
And grateful.
and grateful for
Yeah.
it being completed. I know that she is a huge fan of Lilo and Stitch, and it's very hard to find some of these cider characters. Cider. Dear Lord.
Side
characters. I don't know why I did that. And I did make Scrum, but I do believe I've shared that creation already. So that whole entire order was fulfilled. And then I ended up patching up a sweater that had a hole for my mother-in-law.
Yep, and you talked about that last week too.
So all of that was done. And last week I also shared that I was working on a Bluey from the show Bluey. And I have not even touched it since. I'm going to complete that and show it to you, but I'm in like this limbo. I need a break. I think and I do still plan to make and create and have it be set so that I can start making things for a living. I never stopped necessarily creating, but it was much more of a mental break to give myself a moment to think through what I wanted to do next, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I've created patterns out of stock paper for my leather work. Mm-hmm. I have been thinking through all the projects I want to make, or even what I need to do to be able to get myself named as a business and where I live to be able to start selling things a little bit more credibly, things like that. Because I'm working in that aspect, which means I've been putting down the physical labor of my crocheting or a stitching work to be able to give myself a moment to think through those things. But that also means thinking through what I want to make or do for Christmas, and whether I'm making gifts for Christmas or whether gifts are being bought. And I've navigated some of it. Now, one of the things I'm very excited about is that my daughter has now figured out one of her favorite animals, and that is birds.
Yes.
And I have found there's quite a plethora of very articulate and very well-made bird patterns that literally look like birds that you can hold on your finger.
Oh, so cool.
Like parrots that can be made with full wingspans that can come back in, all that sort of thing. And I will probably have you help me choose one or two, and we'll be making that for her birthday, for Christmas.
Yeah.
Working on things like, I don't know if any of you guys remember, but about a couple of years ago, I made a huge monster truck.
Yes.
I still have that pattern.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to make one for Daniel for his birthday.
Ooh, yeah.
Because his birthday's in January, so figuring out how to make it fair for both of the kids for Christmas is one thing, but then still making it fun for Daniel, I have to plan ahead. We are at the end of September. I have time. I have to start pacing myself because dear Lord knows that I have had troubles pacing myself in the past. I have nephews that have already told me what they want.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be making them their things, a Luigi and a dodo bird. I have to figure out what some of my other nieces and nephews want. I'm trying to pace myself out so that I know that if there is something that I can make or something that they want me to buy, I have time to be able to have the funds and do stuff so that I am not strapped at Christmas.
Right.
Because I noticed that the simplest thing is just planning ahead, and I always get so sidetracked by the beginning of the school year that I never think about Christmas, and then it hits and you're like, oh, I have nothing ready. So I'm trying to get ahead so that I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to be going through my unfinished project box and starting to finish some of those up. I plan to get there's a whole entire list going on in my head, but in the next couple of weeks you'll probably be seeing some things working themselves into being
done.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the whips done.
Just got to get through a whole season of stop rushing and just sitting down and doing. And now that the kids are in school, being able to have that time to just sit and do.
Yeah.
Sit and finish. Sit and not have to feel like I'm being pulled in 10 different directions. Because I feel like this summer really showed how very little focus I was able to do effectively. And I don't want to blame it on the kids, but the kids are a huge part of... They are my priority. So when, my whole entire priority in being able to make this a business is to be able to support them. So it's, and help alleviate some of the financial burdens with my husband. Nothing need to worry about, but just the truth is that you can't just have one thing prioritize the other. But when the kids are in school, I'm able to make room for this in a way that is still going to be beneficial for everybody. And now that I have that, I'm not taking away my time to be able to be present with the children, which is why some of my projects went aside, even though they should have been done already, which is, So it's just one of those things, and I'm grateful that we are now getting over that hump and heading into this new stage of getting things done. So expect that in my near future of showing off things.
Well, just to put this quote into perspective, I wanted to give you a little bit of background. I've been going through some health issues, and not only that, I had a fall on September 5th. And so this is all culminating in seeing the doctor yesterday and having some more testing to be done, and going to another doctor tomorrow that I was referred to. And so I'm going through the process. I'm going through the process, and I'm getting things done, and I'm making sure that I'm okay. But at the same time, I'm kind of in this state of what's going to happen next, because there's so many things that are going on with me that I don't know why it started, and it all of a sudden is here, and it's plain as my own face, right? So I show all my emotions on my face, and so this is why I'm saying that. But it's kind of an emotional time, and I'm just trying to figure out all the things that I have to do to alleviate the pain and the stress that I'm going through with these diagnosis burdens. They don't know what it is yet. So I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to
create context for why this quote was picked today.
Yes. And so if you are a praying person, I could use it. And if you need prayers, we're here for you. So have faith that everything happens for a reason, and you are exactly where you are meant to be in this moment. I don't know who said that there's no name to this, but I couldn't get past this one today. In my book, I have a whole quotes and scriptures, and something that just struck me at the time, right? But I couldn't get past this one. I was reading through, and I'm trying to wait for her to get here, and I've got the camera set up, and I was trying to figure something out to end the video on. I could not get past this one today, and it was just like, so I'm going to read it again. Have faith that everything happens for a reason, and you are exactly where you are meant to be in this moment. So if that is the way it is, then I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and the doctors are going to give me a diagnosis, and we're going to figure this all out. We all go through our lives not knowing what the next thing is. We don't know what the next burden we're going to go through or the next happiness we're going to achieve. We don't know what the next turn we're going to do in the road. Every day is different. Every day has something new and different in it. And if you are a positive person, you can see these things with, rose-colored glasses, and you're all happy about, okay, let's just go down the road and find out what's going on. If you're a negative person, you're just going to sit there and put yourself into a state of being where you grumble about it all. And, I'm more on the positive side, but right now I'm in the I don't know what's going to happen phase. And so I have to trust that it's all going to happen and it's all going to be okay. And that I'm going to get better and that things are going to level out. Stop going downhill, just level out.
Yeah. I would say that you're in a realist stage. You have to come to terms with what's happening, but you don't want to give it too much power.
Yes.
That's
perfect.
So it's one of those situations of I'm not going to act like this doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Because
it truly does.
Because that invalidates my experience.
Right.
But I have to also put it in perspective so that I don't let it control my happiness.
Yes.
And what I do have to be thankful for.
Yes.
So there is that balance. So I would say it's much more of a realistic approach and I can't live trying to figure out letting the what ifs control me. I have to be able to hold on to my facts and not have them outweigh my potential reality by letting my mind run rampant, because the one thing that's crazy is that our minds cannot differentiate between imagination and reality.
Right.
If it goes through our mind and we give it time and it's not just like a pink bunny rabbit running around, like if it's something that could happen, it's why it affects us.
Yes.
In our brain. It's why bad dreams affects us. Even though we recognize that it was just a dream, it affected us emotionally because our bodies responded to it, even if it wasn't real. That's why movies affect us, because we empathize with the people that we see going through these situations, even though we know it's not real.
Right.
In our minds, we've experienced it because we saw it or we had an emotional connection with it. And so it's a hard thing storing our minds, storing our feelings, and making sure that we're staying perspective so that we're not being trapped, we're not being bogged down, that we're not being set up for failure by letting our minds run in any direction that it wants to go. So I get it.
Yeah. And that's where I'm at right now. So as time goes on and I start getting diagnoses, I may or may not bring it up. So
it's up to you.
And the only reason that I'm bringing it up today is because this quote really stopped me.
Felt like a rhema word.
Yeah, and so I'm just bringing it up for that. If you know me personally and you want to know more, go ahead and ask. But if and if you don't know me personally and you still want to know, you can
email us,
leave a comment or whatever. So I'm willing to disclose. I'm just trying to
come to terms with everything.
Yeah, and it's something that I just need to find the answers for and move forward.
Yeah.
So, and I'm ready for the answers.
Yes.
So,
I understand.
That's where we are. Sarah was kind enough to go to the doctor with me yesterday because I was just a wreck. And I just needed someone to hear what the doctor was saying if I didn't know what to say. And it went rather quickly. They have their things to do too. And she wasn't expecting me to come up to her with these things. And she was like, oh, we need to take pictures of this because I need to know, I need to research this.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we are getting the answers.
Yes. So,
So,
as always, we're grateful for anyone who's made it all the way to the end of our video. We recognize that our videos might not be as fancy as every YouTuber on this platform, but we love to just come and share just a piece of our lives once a week and share with you what we're creating, kind of creating just that feeling of community and just a place to just share what you're going through. So we're grateful. And we hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, you can like, subscribe, share with your friends.
comment.
Yep. And we always have an email that can be a little bit more of a private. It means to communicate with us in our description below. So feel free. We will see you next week. Maybe with more things, maybe an update, maybe with just more things to share. But as always, we hope that your projects go well, that everything that you're doing hobby-wise is up and up. And until we see you again, we hope that you stitch your way
To mental health.